Today's episode of the BS Podcast is brought to you by SeatGeek, our presenting sponsor, and a direct competitor to James Dolan, Michael Rappaport's least favorite owner. Find the best tickets for Round 2 hockey, Round 2 basketball, MLB, Hamilton, whatever. I have SeatGeek on my phone. It is the easiest way to shop for the best tickets thanks to their revolutionary grading system. Buy and sell tickets in 2 taps on your phone. Everything fully guaranteed. Try it out. Download the SeatGeek app today or go right to SeatGeek.com. Do it for me, for God's sakes. I tell you every podcast. We're also brought to you by SimpliSafe. It has never been easier to protect your home and family thanks to SimpliSafe. Order your home security online. Set up your system in under 1 hour. Then you can start enjoying 24/7 professional protection immediately, all for $15 a month. No long-term contracts, no hidden fees, no hassle. Go to simplysafebs.com. That is SimpliSafe with 2 I's. BS.com today to protect your home and get 10% off. And we are finally brought to you by Against All Odds with Cousin Sal. That is our new gambling podcast. Launched this week.
I like it.
Gambling stuff. And he's on the world's coldest gambling streak right now. So hopefully things will turn now that he has a podcast. But subscribe to that on iTunes. It is at least once a week. Let's hear from Pearl Jam. In the house, Michael Rappaport. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
You've been feuding with people.
Feuding.
You've said some things I didn't agree with.
Oh, good. I want to hear that.
Well, we'll talk about that later. I feel like you were coming in hot for a while. Now you're medium again. Now
with you,
you're medium well done. Now you're not rare.
Well, I have to pace myself with you because I already know where it's going to go. So I can't start like I jumped off a building.
You look like you're in shape. I feel like you've been working out and there's some sort of basketball something going on with you.
None.
You look like you're in basketball shape, no?
Yeah, that's good. Looks can be deceiving.
Okay.
I look like I'm in basketball shape from the neck up.
Okay.
So from the neck up.
That's how I feel too.
Yeah, from the neck up, I look like I'm in basketball shape. But I'm going to take this second.
Yeah.
To promote something that you're gonna like.
You're promoting the start of the podcast?
The reason why, because I know,
just started.
The reason why, Bill, is because if the chances of your audience being able to stick around with what I'm gonna bring to this show are slim to none. So I want to get it out now while everyone's listening.
Okay.
But I'm doing live podcast in San Francisco, May 9th.
Yeah.
May 11th in Seattle.
Yeah.
With Sean Kemp.
Sean Kemp,
the Rain Man in Seattle.
How'd you get him?
That's my guy.
I'm jealous.
I knew you'd be jealous, and I knew you'd appreciate it. So he's in Seattle with Sean Kemp, May 11th, live.
Wow.
And then May 13th in Vancouver. So that's why I took it to tell you that. And the tickets are available at IamRappaportTour.com. And that's the only reason why I brought it up early is because I feel like I will alienate and breach everything that you do on this podcast. So to IamRappaportTour.com, May 9th, San Fran, the 11th with the Rain Man in Seattle live, and the 13th in Vancouver.
This is the first good thing that's happened to Seattle basketball fans in 10 years.
This is a big deal.
Yeah.
So he's up there and you know, I mean, you people forget about how incredible he was and his whole story and, you know, everything. So I'm hyped to have him.
Well, you go through the All-NBA teams, and he's in there for a couple years in like, you know, first team, second team. I think he made a couple second teams. He was top 10 player for 3 years in 96 finals. If you watch those games, arguably the most unstoppable guy in that finals.
Ridiculous. You know, I was at basketball camp with him.
Yeah.
I remember.
Were you a counselor?
No. He looked like he should have been a counselor, but I think Sean is maybe. We might be the exact same age, but I remember looking, I think he's a year or two older than me, but I remember looking over to him. He had a full goatee, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be doing anything with basketball in my life.
Yeah.
Like this was at the 5-star basketball camp, which is like the elite of the elite at the time.
Yeah.
And it was like a day at the beach for him. He was so much better than everybody at the camp, and there was all-stars, all-Americans, it was like he was like playing around with children.
Yeah. People are asking for his birth certificate.
Are
you okay with that, Mike?
I'm set up here. I'm good. I know how to work a mic.
Right.
I know how to give myself a mic check.
You walked in wearing a Jeter Stickman shirt.
Yes. Which, retirement jersey.
Yeah, retirement jersey. Now he's going to the Marlins.
He's going to the Marlins. He's
going to
own
the Marlins.
Good. I think that's good for him. He's staying busy. He's not denying the fact that he wants to be a part of baseball like Kobe. is
Yeah.
doing.
Kobe's not doing that. Kobe's doing Dr. Seuss NBA segments for.
Yeah, I know.
Have you seen those?
I've seen them all. And
what is it? Is he
he loves
losing his mind?
storytelling.
He's a storyteller.
He said he loves storytelling.
He's a storyteller.
Kobe is my dude, but I feel like he's going to go through this and then something's going to have to come back with basketball. But like, if you love storytelling,
Kobe's
Kobe,
your dude?
Kobe? I love fucking. You don't love Kobe?
No.
You don't. You hate
I'm
Kobe?
a Celtic fan. I don't hate Kobe.
But you
I respect Kobe.
Of course.
I don't know what he's trying to do like currently.
He
I
loves
don't
storytelling.
understand these Dr. Seuss
I know.
ABC things.
If he wants to be a producer, Kobe, if you want to be a producer, hire yourself some dope writers. Everybody would come take a meeting with you. You got to spend a little money
Yeah.
and then produce movies.
Oh, I think
that
he's
would be the
spending
move.
money.
Yeah, but I mean, I think if he really wants to be a producer in Hollywood, he can do it. But you don't do it with like animated things. Like get dope directors, dope actors, and
I think he thinks he's Tim Burton. I think he's gonna make like Edward Scissorhands
like
too.
basketball versions and shit.
Yeah, I think he was inspired by some Burton movies.
What about your guy? Have you talked about how upset are you that Larry Legend might be leaving basketball?
It seems like it's over.
He's going to leave basketball?
Yeah, I think stuff's going on with that team. I think he got out a little bit early. I think they're probably selling it.
Oh.
Yeah. Is
that your instinct or word on the street?
There's some word on the street.
When you say word on the street, like, what do you get? Phone call, a text, inside information, inside trading, Bernie Madoff shit? Like, what are you talking about?
The owner's old. And there's a feeling within the league. You know, it's really hard to buy into the NBA right now.
Right.
And the two teams that everybody just keeps circling are actually there's three: Indiana, New Orleans, Minnesota. All of them have aging owners, and so I think the Bird leaving when he did made me think that the team's probably going to be sold. They're probably going to blow it up. Who knows what's going to come in? Let's talk about the playoffs, though.
Okay, let's go.
So round two. It's been a really uninspiring round two.
Very uninspiring.
And I think, basketball on the internet, there's this race to just exclamation points. Everything's great. Oh, my God. And it's like, if you really look at these playoffs, they haven't been that good.
No.
And like that Boston-Washington game, too, in Boston, the overtime game, which was spectacular. We just haven't had a lot of those.
No.
Like, OKC Houston was super disappointing. Clippers Utah game 7 was a dud.
Yep.
Every Golden State game, you almost feel like you don't even have to watch it. They're going to win by 15. Like they just cross them off.
The Memphis San Antonio game 4.
That was fun.
That was a really good game.
Cleveland's just killing teams.
Killing.
LeBron. So the thing with LeBron,
what?
And we always write him off as an MVP candidate now, unless his stats are better than everybody else's stats.
He's
and
an
I was
MVP
guilty of it too.
candidate.
I didn't vote for him.
Do you have a vote?
I have a vote.
Yo, you have a vote for MVP?
Yeah.
Did you say who you
What
voted
do you
for?
think? I'm like a busboy?
I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know who are the people that vote for MVP.
It's like 105 people.
That's it?
Sage Steele has a vote.
Wait a second. So have you publicly said who you voted for?
Yeah.
Who'd you vote for?
Thanks for reading me. I wrote a whole column.
Tate, I like that. Who'd you vote
thanks
for?
for reading me. Yeah, it's on theringer.com. You have to go see it. No, I voted for James Harden.
You voted for James Harden.
I did.
My big thing about the MVP, Bill, and I want to ask you this.
Yeah.
Why is the NBA, all your basketball nerds, everybody, all season long, who's
Nerds.
the MVP? Who's the MVP?
Yeah.
Who's the MVP? Who's the MVP? The season ends on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay, the playoff starts on a Friday, yet we have to wait until June 26th to find out who the MVP of the regular season is. And it's going to be Russell Westbrook. He's going to have gone to Saint-Tropez. He's going to gone shopping.
Right.
He's going to start thinking about the next season. And
Take
we're going
a couple meetings with Tom Ford.
And then
working on sleeveless blazers.
And then a month, 2.5 months after the fact, they're going to give him the award for MVP of the regular season, as if it means shit. 2.5 months after.
Well, we grew up with Robinson getting the MVP during the series against Hakeem, and Hakeem taking it personally and then taking it out on Robinson. That's what I love.
Don't you think it would have added fuel to the fire for the non-basketball centric fan? Harden, Westbrook just won the MVP last night. They're going at it in the first round.
I mean, obviously, I agree. I think it's insane. They're doing they're making this NBA award show this year, which is why they're waiting.
Who's going to watch that shit?
2 months.
Nobody's watching that shit. Even the most basketball centric fan like you, after the finals, you're done. You're
Yeah.
done. And then you're going to be like, oh, it's Monday night. I'm going to watch Drake host a fucking basketball award show where they're giving out an MVP from the regular season 2.5 months ago. Oh, and I can't wait to find out who wins most fashionable in the NBA.
Is that an award?
That's a fucking award.
All right, I'm gonna.
And not only is it an
Google
award,
this as we're
fact check
talking.
it. And not only is it an award, this is going to encourage these motherfuckers to take things to a new level next year.
Well,
They-
what other level is there? Wade was wearing
Yo.
pants that ended at his knee. Westbrook was wearing jeans that had, 1 foot holes in them.
Yeah, and then they got the sleeveless blazer. And the fact that Drake is hosting him 2.5 months after the fact, I just think it's a big. I don't know who they like. Do they think this is like the Oscars? Like people are going to watch this like the Oscars. The finals will be over. They're going to have already given the NBA Finals MVP, and then they're going to go back and be like, oh yeah, remember 2 months ago, Russell Westbrook, who's already been eliminated, and James Harden has already been eliminated. We're going to give them an award. It's the dumbest fucking thing. Do you have Adam Silver's number on your phone?
I can't find the fan awards.
They are giving out an award for most fashionable. This is representative Bill,
I
of
found
the
it.
skinny genification of the NBA. That is the epitome of the skinny genification of the NBA.
All right, so dunk of the year, best style, block of the year, assist of the year, game winner of the year, and top performance of the year. What?
This is
How
an
are those
award show.
awards?
How-
Assist of the year?
the assist of the year, the most stylish of the year. So they're going to be like, oh, next year people are going to be like, yo, I'm winning that fucking award.
This should be like Jalen and I always used to have a joke about guy you would take into a dark alley with you.
Yeah.
Like those should be the awards.
Yes.
It should be like guy I wouldn't fuck with.
Yes.
That award.
The all goon
Heat
squad
check award.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Deion Waiters should win an award on NBA.
Yeah,
Or
the
he should be
5150
represented.
award of the year.
Yeah. What's that?
Like 5150 means like, when the paramedics get called, if they got like a crazy person, they'll go, it's 5150. Like, so they'll be like the 5150 award of the year.
Yeah.
Like that would, or they could call AKA the Ron Artest award.
I'm with you. I don't understand it. I get why they're doing it, but if you're gonna have
Get it for what? What's going to happen? Like they're getting sponsorship by
turn
Kia?
it. They're trying to turn it into
The
like
Oscars?
the ESPYs.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you're the biggest basketball fan I know.
I would not watch that show.
Who's going to watch that shit?
I wouldn't watch it. I would watch it if the categories were funnier. Like if best social media presence was an award. Now I'm getting more interested. Like obviously Joel Embiid should win after he compared himself to. Did you see the horse tweet?
Yes.
The horses and I. What do we have in common? The
process?
smiley face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joel Embiid's great. All right, let's talk about
But
playoffs.
I think that if once you're doing the most stylish award, all bets are off. You can do the all goon squad. You could do the 5150 guy because it's like this is the NBA. You're doing most stylish. One of these basketball players is going to come up there, probably in a fucking tutu, and they're going to get an award. And like it's like like Moses Malone is kicking and screaming in his grave.
Yeah, Moses
Malone is like, what
Moses wouldn't have gone.
wouldn't have gone.
No, he wouldn't have
even
gone.
know. He would have been somewhere in like South Carolina.
Yeah. Playoffs.
Yep. The Knicks.
Did you think Westbrook was the MVP?
Yes.
Would you have wanted to play with Westbrook? Would you have wanted to be on his team for 82 games?
The way I play, yes. My
That's
style
true.
of game, I'm not a shoot first kind of guy.
For me and you, it would have been great. Yeah,
Yeah.
Russ, you do everything.
I'll get my rebounds, I'll
I'm
set
gonna
my
run from
picks.
3-point line to 3-point line.
Set my picks.
I'm ready if you need me. I'm
Pass
over
to
here.
Yeah, like my
Yeah.
mentality of basketball, yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I'm curious why you picked Harden, but
For me, it came down to his team did better. Their
Harden.
offense was much better. Like they had like one of the top 10 greatest offenses in the history of the league, whereas Westbrook's offense was like 17th. And I didn't think he made his teammates better. And by the time they got to the playoffs, Oladipo was like a Section 8. He was like Private Pile. Steven Adams, they never ran plays for him anymore. Canner, they
what kind of
couldn't
plays
play.
can you run for Steven Adams?
He's a really good screen and roll guy. I would
Okay.
have run that over and over again. Canner, like you can't even keep on the court. Mm-hmm. None of their young guys really stepped up. And in those last couple games, he had guys wide open that he just wasn't even passing to. Grant was making threes. McDermott was making some. He just was ignoring them.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a tough thing with him because he's so. It's such an incredible like tsunami of energy and all that stuff.
Tsunami?
Tsunami, isn't that what it's called?
Tsunami?
Tsunami.
I like Tsunami.
Tsunami.
Tsunami sounds like where I'd go to lunch today to get sushi.
Like,
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
go
go
ahead
to
and go to
Tsunami.
Tsunami.
Wait, what did I say? Tsunami.
Tsunami.
Russell Westbrook is the tsunami.
Can you give me your biased thoughts about Isaiah Thomas?
Which one?
I don't. You're a Knicks fan, and we have the Celtics did it again. We have a franchise guy again. We're one of the better offensive guards.
How could you not love this guy?
In 30 years. So you like him?
How could you not love Isaiah Thomas?
Okay.
I mean,
I don't know. You're a Knicks fan.
I've told you this. I've softened ever since the Big Three, even ever since the Garnett and Doc Rivers and the Paul Pierce, that team. I like that team.
Oh,
and so it's not like I don't like when you get a guy like Kelly Olynyk. What's his name? Olynyk.
Yeah.
See, that
who's now getting booed, but like Bill Lambier is the biggest doofus the Celtics have had in 20 years.
He's a fucking clown with that man bun.
Nice guy, but he's a
worst
doofus.
hairdo in the NBA, Kelly Olynyk or Jeremy Lin. He's got a man bun in Boston. They don't boo him.
Yeah.
Shame on your fans.
I don't think they're happy about the man bun. So you like Isaiah?
How could you not? I've always liked him. He's always been impressive. He's great.
Could you make the finals with Isaiah Thomas?
Not this year. You ain't making it past Cleveland, my friend. Any aspirations or hopes or coulda, woulda, should be, or any arithmetic you're going to run in your head that you might possibly beat Cleveland, Bill Simmons. You guys ain't beating Cleveland. You'd be lucky to make it out of there in 6 games.
That's what when I brought up LeBron earlier, I was going to say the thing with LeBron when he's rested. As
when is he not rested?
As a friend of mine said this week to me, who I can't name.
Why not? Drop names.
Because he's involved in the NBA.
Okay.
LeBron in a full tank is still the scariest player of the last 25 years.
Period.
Even this year, in year 14, when he's rested and he's going, and you knew when it was 8-3 and he's calling for the alley-oop and dunking lefty off the backboard, it's like because he had rest. And if they can get through these series with four in round 1, 4 or 5 in round 2, they blow through the Celtics 4 or 5, and he can get to the finals with real rest. That would make me think they have a chance, even though they're bad defensively.
Do you think the Celtics can push them to 7? Let's assume the Celtics get there, because the Celtics they're not. Washington could beat the Celtics.
Today it came out that Isaiah has a fractured jaw.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So he's got a fractured jaw, knocked out 3 teeth.
Shit. He's not gonna stop playing.
He had
with
the terrible family tragedy. Like I worry he's gonna
tank out.
Just understandably wear down a little bit as this goes along, and they rely on him so much. You saw it. First of all, they really had no business winning game 2.
And game 1, really.
That was the best game he's had all season. I mean, we've seen him do that 15 times this year, but he had 53 points.
Yes.
He took 33 shots. He's never taken that many. And really that game came down to Bradley Beal had an 11-footer for the game.
Yes.
And he gacked it. He's short. It was a short arm.
They might not get past Washington. They very well might not get.
I'm concerned. One of the things I don't love in a playoff series is when you keep falling behind by double figures.
I agree.
I think that's a horrible sign.
Not a good habit to start.
I think they're better because I don't think Washington is poised enough. I think it's gonna be one of those series that we're gonna look back and go, wow, Washington should have won. But bad defensively, they lose their poise. We've seen how many times have they lost their poise in 3 games?
Markieff Morris or whatever Morris is playing there.
And Wall, I think they're one of those teams when they're up 20, they look devastating. Mm-hmm. But if the Celtics can just get them in these games where it's close in the last 5 minutes, Wall's going balls to the wall, and like he totally ran out of energy in game 2.
Yep.
So I don't know. I could see 6 or 7. I always felt that way. Even when the Celtics were up 2-0, I felt like it was going to go 6 or 7.
The question I'm asking you is, who would give Cleveland a tougher matchup just to slow them down?
Boston.
All right.
Washington's not ready yet.
Okay. I don't think Boston's going to beat them.
I don't think so either. But, Boston's biggest hope is injury luck.
Yes.
Like you saw it with Parker.
Yep.
Parker just goes down.
Yep.
When you have these guys that are in year 14, 15, 16, 17, it's really hard to play 100 games.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, what a shame. Tony Parker, it's like, that guy's in his 17th season.
Yes.
Like, he should be getting hurt.
Yes, just because he's 33.
Ask anybody who plays basketball after, like, age 38. Like, you start getting fucking hurt.
Yeah, he's been playing since he's, like, 12 in the NBA.
It's like, he hurt his leg on a non-contact injury.
Right.
Yeah, he's been in the league since 2001.
Yeah,
they were relying on him, and that fucking happens.
What did you think of the little pom-pom fight last night with the two Kellys?
Oubre Jr.?
It was the battle of bad hair.
So he kind of hit the ref. I felt like
Yes.
that should have been a bigger deal.
But it was like, yeah, like he ran
But
into him.
he crashed into the ref.
Yes.
As he crashed into Olynyk, which feels like that's a suspension.
No, he's not getting suspended because your boy flopped. Your boy Olynyk.
I actually don't think he flopped.
And Olynyk's a dirty fucking player. Now I go back and
he's
evaluate.
a doofus. He's not dirty.
Yes,
He's a
he
doofus.
fucking is. Because now I reevaluate that
Doofus
little
versus dirty.
that little twist that he did on Kevin Love and his high picks on Oubre and his bad goatee and what is he, Canadian?
He's Canadian.
He's Canadian.
Who is a dirty Canadian?
He's dirty.
Canadians
He's like a
are the
hockey
nicest
player.
people on the planet.
Yeah, he's like the nicest people, and doesn't he big political statements like he's like fuck Hillary and all that. He's like a big.
Kelly Olynyk?
I think so.
I don't even think he knows who Hillary is.
No, Tate, look it up. He's like Mr. He's like Mr. Outspoken. He had like a pic. He's not a good
Tate,
guy.
Kelly Olynyk, dirty or doofus?
He's a dirty doofus.
Yeah, he's a dirty
doofus,
doofus.
okay.
He
All
needs to
right.
cut that fucking man bun and show up to the game like Jaden Smith did at the Met Gala in his hand. I don't like Kelly.
Is that what
Olynyk.
Jaden Smith did?
Yeah, he came to the Met Gala the other day with his cut off dreadlocks in his hand like a man purse. He's holding them in his hand.
Is LeBron in the conversation for you with MJ yet?
Absolutely.
Okay.
How could he not be?
I'm still not there.
Who's the conversation? So it's MJ and then who?
I just MJ's in his own conversation. He's at a table for one.
I agree.
Bill
But
Russell gets to stop by every once in a while and they talk. And
see, that's where that Boston
Bill Russell
shit.
won 11 titles.
I know.
Won 11 titles in
Bill,
13 years.
Do we need to go down this road
How many
again?
times can you win a title? Everyone from that era is like, Bill Russell's the best player in our era. He's amazing. I wish Bill Russell was my teammate.
Yeah, in the do I need to break down the overratedness of Bill Russell for you one more
please
time?
Don't. Please don't.
In the unintegrated NBA with
Well, I
eight
will
teams.
say this: watching the way basketball is played now for the first time, and I was always, even when I did my book in like '09, I was always like comparing the eras. And
Yeah.
really felt like the '86 Celtics could hang with these teams in the 2000s. Like maybe they were a little more athletic, but the '80s. Now I watch basketball and I'm like, all of these teams would destroy the older teams because we figured out the spacing better. The spacing and the strategy and the way the shooting and the athleticism, I think it would be just, I don't care who you're playing. I think it would be unstoppable.
The evolution of man. That's
Can you
why Bill
imagine,
Russell shouldn't be considered past 1973.
Yeah, but you still have to, you're ranking the greatest by what their career and the impact was when they played. You can't just say, like, if you're going to say the guys now are better than Bill Russell, like, you're probably right. Like, Jan Mahimny might be as good
Yes.
as Bill Russell was
Yes.
athletically. Like,
Yes.
if you put him in 1962, he would be going crazy.
I mean, what was the year that he beat the Syracuse Gnats? Bill Russell, he was going against Dolph Shays. That was
Yeah.
that was a center he was competing against. Dolph Shays like 100,
He fucking
195
owned Dolph
pounds.
Shays.
Huh?
He owned Dolph
Yeah,
Shays.
great. That's something to fucking brag about. That's something that you feel good. I
Neil
mean,
Johnson.
let me ask you this: would you give back Bill Russell's championship
No.
versus Dolph Shays and the Syracuse Gnats to disassociate yourself from Kurt Schilling? Think about it. Like, so you say Kurt Schilling never had anything to do with Boston or the Boston Red Sox, and I'll give back one of Bill Russell's championships.
If I still worked at ESPN, we would digitally remove Kurt Schilling from the documentary, the 30 for 30 we made about the 4 days of
You'd
October.
re-edit. You do
No,
the
I would put the thing on his face like they use when somebody doesn't give their consent to be filmed, the blurkle.
yeah.
Like in Survivor, when somebody's dick falls out
Yeah.
and they blurkle. That's what Schilling, the whole documentary, Schilling's face would be blurkled.
Would you give up a World Series championship to that never had anything to do with Kurt Schilling as a Red Sox?
I would give up 07.
You'd give it up. If you could say,
I
you
think
know what,
so.
Kurt Schilling, because all he is
That's just to erase it from my head.
no, just the fact that it didn't happen. Like, okay,
Nah,
we have to give
I'd keep all the championships.
even the one with Kurt Schilling, even though he's such a crackpot
Well,
now.
04, I mean, if you had told any Red Sox fan in 04, you're going to come back 3-0 from the Yankees, you're going to win the World Series, but the tax is going to be Kurt Schilling's going to lose his mind.
Right.
I would have taken that.
You would have taken
Yeah.
that. All right. Okay, because you
They
know
could have
he's
been like, Kurt Schilling's going to kill your dog. I'd be like, fine, take the dog.
all right, how you feeling, Tate? What do you think about this?
Wait, let's talk. Speaking of
Baseball?
unhappy, tortured fans.
Yes. Well, I know we're going to go to the Knicks. Phil Jackson,
Now, let's do an ad first.
fucking Dolan.
I want to talk quickly about Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. When it comes to the big decision of choosing a mortgage lender, it's important to work with someone you can trust who has your best interests in mind. With Rocket Mortgage, you'll get a transparent online process that gives you the confidence to make an informed decision. Don't waste time. Searching through stacks of paperwork with Rocket Mortgage, you can securely share your financial info to get a mortgage approval in minutes. You can even adjust the rate and length of your loan in real time to make sure you get the mortgage solution that's right for you, whether you're looking to buy a home or refinance your existing mortgage. Tate, someday you'll have a mortgage. You can get Rocket loans.
Thanks. I'm excited.
Bill will
Tate's
hook you
doing
up.
great. He's employee number 1 at the
I didn't
Ringer.
even recognize you, like
I
all
know.
cleaned up.
He's looking great. You can lift the burden of getting a home loan with Rocket Mortgage. Skip the bank, skip the waiting. Go completely online at quickenloans.com/Bill Simmons. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Number 3030. The Knicks. So, classic Knicks. You didn't trade Carmelo. You've ruined his trade value. Porzingis is now upset, who's the only Knick
Good.
anyone cares about.
As he should be. I'm proud of him.
Your lottery pick, you somehow screwed that up and you fell to the 7th spot, even though arguably there's no way you should have been lower than 4. So
Yeah.
then you lost the coin flip to the Timberwolves for 6.
Yep.
Now you're in the 7th ping pong spot.
Yep. That always works out for us.
How you feeling?
Horrible. And at this point, Bill, I have to blame, Phil Jackson, because Phil, my man Phil, is not doing his job. And James Dolan, I believe, said, here, you're the boss. You run everything
Yeah.
to do with basketball. I
He's
drove
a
it in.
delegator.
And Phil's like, doesn't give a fuck. The fact that, for me, when the Charles Oakley incident happened, which we didn't even talk about, but
No,
when
let's talk about it.
When that didn't happen, and Dolan went on Mike and Mike, I believe, to sort of clear the air with the press and talk about it. If I was Dolan, I would have said, Phil, they need to hear from you. Well, I don't want to talk. They need to hear from you, Phil. Please go talk to the press for 5 minutes. I'm not doing it. Then you're fucking fired. I fire him on the spot. I'm paying you money. I'm the owner. You work for me. I'm giving you however many amount of money. They don't want to hear from me. They want to hear from you. You're not going to talk to the press. You're fired. It would have taken everything off of James Dolan. And that's your job. The fans want to hear from Phil Jackson. We don't even get, he's falling asleep at games. You see him like he's like nodding in the crowd. He's like, and everybody came into this with such optimism. The fact I've never seen in any sport, what is he, the GM, the president of basketball operation? What is Phil's fucking title?
President of basketball operations, something like that.
Publicly try to shame and humiliate, whether he holds the ball, whether he's not as good as D-Wade. We know he's not as great as LeBron, all this stuff. To publicly, for him to come out, he didn't speak to the press all season long. And then his closing thing is to try to publicly shame Carmelo Anthony. Regardless of what you think of Carmelo Anthony, it's just not cool. It's
Plus,
not.
he was the one who gave him a no trade clause.
You did it.
Yeah.
Why don't you fire yourself? Why don't you say, this is my fault. I fucked it. I should go somewhere else and play. Who does that? Who can't? It's just not fair. We all have our problems with Carmelo, but for him to do that and not speak when the Oakley thing happened and not speak when your point guard mysteriously disappears, but his last statement of the season is to shit all over Carmelo. I'm proud that Porzingis, the Latvian gangbanger, said fuck it. He figured it out in 2 years. It takes most people 5 years to figure these things out. He was like, fuck this. I'm going back to Latvia.
He got the other gangbangers.
And I'm out of here. I don't need this shit. I'm glad that for a 21, 22-year-old kid to figure it out so young. I was like, this kid's got his head on his shoulders. And like, what do we need to meet and talk about? It's the closing conversation with this guy.
Well, especially somebody who threw his best player under the bus.
Threw his best player under the bus.
So,
Jeff Hornacek's going to get fired at somewhere. He's never going to coach basketball ever again.
What do you think there hasn't been enough attention paid to the whole Kurt Rambis as a narc kind of thing? How Phil Jackson puts Kurt Rambis in there. He's always there.
The whole thing is a joke.
It's bizarre, right?
The whole thing is a joke. It doesn't matter who they put in there. If they're just a puppet and a mouthpiece for Phil Jackson, none of those coaches are going to get respect. Hornacek potentially could have been a good coach in the NBA.
Right.
He's done. He's never going to coach again. For some reason, they got fucking Kurt Rambis, who refuses to shave his hair. Just shave the fucking hair. You look nuts.
He looks like Hulk Hogan.
Just shave it. Okay, you look crazy this way. We know you're going to look crazy with the bald head, but at least you'll have he'll look like sort of like crazy in a good way, like kind of intimidating white guy with the horn rimmed glasses. The whole thing is bad. And
He should shave the head and do those old school like psycho glasses.
That's
the
it.
Thick plastic
right.
ones.
Maybe gain some respect from the players because right now they don't listen to you. They don't listen to
So they
Hornacek.
think he probably has he's wired when they're talking to him.
I'm sure that they don't speak.
Explain to me this. Dolan, who fires the head of MSG like every 18 months, who fires people left and right.
Left and right.
But then with the Knicks job, and the Rangers, he's always like, look, when I make a deal, I make a deal.
Right.
My,
Yeah,
my
Mr.
word is oak.
Yeah.
What? I don't understand. Why isn't his word oak with his other businesses?
Listen, man. I'm so over this team.
Who was more out of shape this year, Joakim Noah or you?
I'd say in the beginning it was me, but when Joakim went down with the injury, and then definitely I'd say it was Joakim.
Yeah.
He came in a little better shape, but towards the end of the season, like March, after he came back from that weird suspension thing, I was in better shape.
If I gave you over under nights Joakim was up past 4:30 in Manhattan, 22 during the season, would you go over?
Yes, over.
Okay, over. How about 42?
I'd say it's like
somewhere between 22 and 42?
Yeah,
All right.
We're talking about great stick man.
Oh, yeah.
Under the radar. He's putting in that work.
I don't even think it's under the radar.
Well, when he came to New York, now it's sort of out and about. But that's a Coxman right there. He puts in that work. I mean, his father, it's in his lineage.
Yeah.
Father was a fantastic stick man.
It's one of the best. It's like Alan Thicke and Robin Thicke.
Yes.
Which is one of the great father-son
Yes.
combos we've ever had.
Yes, and they're still going at it.
Yeah.
Because the father, Yannick, fantastic. World renowned because he's a
Right.
tennis player.
Who could have guessed the Joakim Noah signing wouldn't work out? I mean, it seems so
Did you know that was
promising
going to be
when-
so bad? I didn't know it was going to be this bad.
I thought it was going to be bad. I really did. I genuinely thought it was going to be terrible.
I thought his energy and his rebounding, and I didn't know he was going to be so hurt, but I thought his energy and his rebounding would be a good thing. I didn't realize the $70 million was actually $70 million until he got hurt.
I just assumed they were going to sign Dwight Howard. And I still think you end up with him. I think this is where this all heads, is the Joakim Noah and Courtney Lee for
Dwight Howard, and that's the big
and
fix.
Kent Bazemore.
Great.
I think you get those two contracts.
Great.
And
God
then
bless him.
You bring Rose back for a year on a reduced contract, and it's a Rose, Carmelo, Dwight, the trio you've always been waiting for, the big three from 2010. Only now it'll be 2018.
It's a disaster.
So I had Daisy Samaro on a couple weeks.
You had what?
Daisy Samaro.
Oh yes. But you said
You love those guys.
Yeah, they're funny.
And I was saying to them that all the Knicks celebrity fans should get together. Every time you jiggle the Starbucks cup, everyone hears and thinks like we're making daiquiris.
Tate'll make it work. Tate'll make it work.
So I was saying to them,
but just let me say, people, if you're hearing this noise in the back,
that's a Starbucks.
it's my
Yeah,
Starbucks
It's
cup.
not. He's not making a daiquiri. So I was saying to them, all the Knicks celebrity fans should get together and do one of those music videos like people used to do in the 80s
We Are the
to raise
World?
money. Yeah. To band together against James Dolan and the Knicks, just to be like, we're not taking this anymore. You get all the people, Spike's in there in the front row.
Yeah, he's like the Quincy Jones. He's like the orchestrating.
Woody
it out.
Allen.
Yep, Woody's in the front singing. They give him a solo.
Matthew Modine's really into it.
Yes.
Like he really is really belting it
Yes,
out. You just
yeah.
get all of them. Daisy Samaro, they just go all the way through. You get like 40 Knicks fans, and it's like, you suck, Dolan, whatever the chorus is. And then you get that out.
I don't know why people just don't go. If you want to go see a piece of shit, just waste your money and go see Hamilton. Stop going to Knicks games.
Oh.
Yes.
You're the anti-Hamilton
If you want to
corner.
go see,
What corner? I didn't know this
Yeah.
corner existed.
Let me tell you something, Bill. That's one of the biggest frauds. That's one of the biggest con jobs. They're like, it's like a hip hop experience. You drive through any hood in any part of the United States, ain't nobody rocking the Hamilton soundtrack outside the bodega in any hood. This fucking thing, it's like Dr. Suits rapping. Like, that set hip hop back. They're like, and I'm not, no disrespect to Lin Man, it's a great achievement and all that shit, but like people are like, well, it's like hip hop, but it's Hamilton and it's positive. That ain't fucking hip hop. That's not fucking hip hop. Don't fool yourself, people. Don't waste your money thinking that's hip hop. If you think that that's hip hop, drive around any hood, go to any high school, go to any club. You think they're rocking the Hamilton soundtrack in the club? You think that there's like a remix to the Hamilton sound? Like, yo, you heard that new Hamilton shit? That shit is doo-doo on a fucking stick. It's not hip-hop. I don't care what Questlove, that's my guy, and all the guys from I hope they're making tons and tons of money. It's a fantastic way to tell a story, but that is not hip-hop. Period. So if you want to go see something, you want to go waste your money on something, I urge the fans to stop going to the Knicks games. They were out there cheering, what's his name? For Ron Baker.
Ronnie Baker, Sunshine Ronnie Baker.
They're out there cheering for Ron Baker. Waste your money on something else.
So the 10-year anniversary of my podcast is May 8th.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the 17th anniversary that the Knicks celebrated the 99.
No.
The 99 team that went to the finals. That's how bad the Knicks are. We're celebrating
the 18th anniversary.
The 18th anniversary.
Not even the 20th?
Yeah, not the 20th, not the 25th. The 18th anniversary of a team that went to the finals and lost.
And got killed.
That's a celebration.
In the 10 years I've ever had this podcast, your Hamilton take is the single hottest take I've ever heard on the podcast. It's so hot that I got burned by Tate. Are you all right? Did you get burned by the flames of that take?
I've never seen Hamilton, so
all right.
I appreciate that, Bill.
Incredible.
Thank you, man.
Incredible job.
That means a lot to me, man. Shit.
A-Rod you brought up.
A lot of discussion.
Actually, let's save A-Rod because I want to stay in NBA for a second.
Okay.
Chris Paul, overrated, underrated, properly rated.
Oh, man. I always go back to your book.
Never made round 3.
I know, man. I always go back to your book. I always think about your book because you really opened my eyes in your book to Chris Paul. I don't know, man. Where is he rated right now?
So when I wrote a column about him. You don't read The Ringer, so you wouldn't know.
No, but I read that book multiple times.
So I had him ranked ahead of Stockton.
You had him rated what?
Ahead of Stockton.
At the time.
And now, no, like literally 2 weeks ago, now I regret it. And I actually think he's this generation Stockton. If I had to redo that part again. Stockton, I had the pyramid in my basketball book. 5 levels. Level 5 was the Pantheon. Level 4 was right underneath it and had like the guys like Isaiah and Elgin Baylor and Barkley and Malone. And then level 3 was the guys who they were just missing one tiny thing that couldn't get them to that level.
Who were some of the guys in that?
Frazier, Willis.
The greatest Game
Rick
7
Barry.
ever?
Yeah. Like,
you mean Walt Frazier, the
great player. Awesome players,
but
great players.
But what you mean just like...
They just weren't like there was like a franchise year to year. These guys were just carrying stuff. Maybe they won a title. There was one tiny element missing. And Stockton was my last level 3 guy. And the reason was great player, unbelievable. Stats are great, unbelievable resume. But if he was your best guy and you didn't really have anyone else, maybe he wasn't there. He also had his postseason, like year after year in his prime, he got outplayed by people that probably he shouldn't have been outplayed by. And I wonder if Chris Paul is now this generation Stockton, where it's like you go through Game 7, he's going against George Hill at home, and they're like, Chris Paul's worn down, he's tired. It's like, why is Chris Paul tired? This is round 1.
I just think he's
played 38 minutes a game. He's tired.
I think that the style of play when he came into the league, such quickness, he's had injuries. I think he's slowing down. And when you're the guy, I mean, he could still be a very good point guard, but like, remember when he first came in, like he was just like, he had you on skates.
Right. He's not, defensively, he's not the same that he was. And also like.
And offensively, I don't think he can do what he used to do. I don't think he has that elusiveness.
Right. And I wonder if, it's just hard when you're a little guy to go into now season 13, 14, 15, 16.
You can't adjust
have that
your
kind
game.
Of an impact. Yeah, there's no.
He's under 6 feet. So you're not going to be like, well, I'm going to be a poster player. I'm going to be a spot up guy. He's a point guard.
Right. He's a point guard whose quickness is the number one thing. And it's like, Isaiah was just, he started to lose it. He was out. He was like, I'm not even going to have my last 3 years where I'm playing 27 minutes a game. I'm done.
Right.
I'm going to go run a team.
Right.
But they all seem to lose it around somewhere between season 11 and season 13.
Point guards. Smaller point guards.
They lose like that kind of in their prime. Just awesome because I think it's a really demanding position. I think it wears them down.
I agree.
They're little guys.
And he used to, I mean, when he first came in, he was like fucking, everybody with the handles and Kyrie and Steph and whoever you love with the handles. Like Chris Paul was one of those guys who brought that wowza factor to handling the ball, and he was a distributor, and but he's like 5'11", 5'10", so it's gonna, if you can't like just shake people off you the way he used to be, That's the first thing. That was like his ultimate weapon is his quickness. Like a guy like Isaiah Thomas on this Celtics. It's not like he's going to play into his 40s.
Well, and that's the thing. Isaiah's going to be a free agent, and now it's like a no-brainer. Obviously, they're going to give him the max, but you look at he's going to be this 34-year-old 5'7" guy making $40 million a year.
No,
that's a little frightening.
Hey, he's done a lot for you guys. So
he really has.
Don't let that white guilt get ahead of you in that way. I'm just playing. Let me ask you this. Ty Lue.
Yeah.
Okay, a guy who could use a new tailor. The suits are so big, Ty Lue. He said this week.
He still thinks it's 1998.
What the fuck are you doing, Ty Lue? It's like I'm not one of these people that's into the skinny shit, but I've even tightened it up a little bit. You look crazy. He said that coaching the Cleveland Cavaliers is the hardest job in sports. How dare you? How fucking dare you? What about coaching the Cleveland Cavaliers without LeBron James?
In 2013.
Why don't you coach the New York Jets? See if that's a fucking... come down to New York. Coach any team besides the Cleveland Cavaliers and see if it's a hard... He's complaining already? Did you hear about this? Ty Lue said this?
If LeBron was my best player, I would not complain.
There's nothing to complain about, Ty Lue. You were handed the keys
the queen of the chessboard.
Yeah, and the blood of David Blatt was spilled for you. You had to jump over it to avoid any DNA evidence. And now you're complaining a year later? Shame on you. It's like, and they're like, oh, well, he outcoached Steve Kerr. It's like, really it would be fun when the Warriors and the Cavaliers to get there. Steve Kerr's not going to be there. Sit Ty Lue the fuck down and let them just play without the coaches and prove that neither one of them are that great of a coach. Like Ty Lue, he outcoached Steve Kerr. The Warriors are going to make it to the finals without Steve Kerr. Let them just do it on their own at this point. They don't need you, Ty Lue. That's the hardest job in sports. How dare you?
He didn't say that.
He did say it.
Yeah, he did.
He did say it.
That's insane.
How am I breaking news to you? It's like 2 days ago he said that.
I didn't hear that one.
He said it. Well, you don't read my column? What the fuck, man?
Sorry, I didn't read you on the ringer.
You didn't read me a column?
Ty Lue couldn't have said that.
He said it. Tate, tell him.
Oh, my God.
He said that. That's got balls,
That's one of the
right?
worst things I've ever heard. I will say, Spoelstra's job the first 2 years of Miami, that was a tough job.
That was a tough job.
You're figuring out how to ease in the best player of the last 20 years with the guy who owns that city and who probably was a little more alpha doggy.
I agree.
And then you have Chris Bosh, too, who's in the corner sucking his thumb, wondering why he signed there. And he made all that, they flame out in the finals. He was able to rally them back. That's a tough job.
There's plenty of other, but he said the toughest job in sports. This guy's got fucking big suits and big balls.
Yeah, Jets coach.
Yeah.
I'm with you on Jets coach.
Yeah, he said that.
You're going to get your ass kicked by the Pats twice a year.
Right.
We're coming again, by the way.
I know.
Do you even follow football? Did the Patriots ruin football for you?
No.
You sure?
Bill, I
wouldn't blame you if they ruined it.
No, they didn't ruin it.
Because they're going to win the AFC East again.
I was texting you. Wasn't I texting you? Oh, I did. I said, remember during the Super Bowl? You probably can't remember because it changed. If you looked at your thing, I was texting you. I said emergency podcast after the game at halftime.
Oh.
Do you remember this? I was like, please, emergency podcast. Please, can we do something? Come on, Mike. Come on.
There's no way I would have done that with you.
I know you wouldn't have.
I would have rather have hit you with a 2x4.
I was texting this motherfucker in the first half. I was like, please podcast something right afterwards. And then I disappeared. I hadn't talked to you in months from that.
I don't even remember getting the text.
It's there. Trust me. If we Monica Lewinsky it's there. Trust me, it's there. There was you. There was a handful of my Boston friends that I was texting, but you were the first guy. I was like, "Where are you?"
Your dad of Tom Brady.
It was gonna be.
Your dad of Tom Brady.
Say it again.
Your dad of Tom Brady. I didn't give up. I didn't. You know what I didn't do at halftime? Quit.
No.
I changed seating positions in my living room with the people I was with. Picked a different chair and waited for Tom Brady to lead me back to the promised land.
It was incredible. It was incredible. I love that Kraft is still behind Donald Trump. You feel good about that? What would you do to get him to shut the fuck up? So would you trade away a Bill Russell, I don't know, Olympic medal to have Tom Kraft, to have Roger Kraft? Is it Roger Kraft? Robert Kraft. Stop saying that, all these fantastic things. I mean, it's got to shame you guys. Because I know there's probably a lot of Trump people, but don't you want him to just stop saying that? Would you give away Bill Russell's Olympic medal for Kraft to stop saying how great Trump is?
Trump was a great friend to him.
Yeah, Trump was a great friend to him. Of course he was. Of course he was.
Yeah,
What would you give away to have him stop acknowledging Donald Trump as being a great friend and a great leader? He's a great friend and a great leader. And you know what's amazing?
He might have been a great friend.
See, he might have been a great friend. I'm sure he's a great friend. But dude, what did you think about Brady coming back? He was incredible. Listen, he's incredible. He's incredible. He's sick. A grumpy Bill Belichick who doesn't talk to the press because he would shit on you. If you asked him a question, I would love him to shame you in front of all the other press people.
Have you ever thought about what it would be like to ask those questions? I'm always stunned by like Popovich, the way they tiptoe. I would have so much more fun with it if I was stuck there.
Thank you.
My sideline reporter question to Popovich every single time would be, what bottle of wine would you have compared that performance to? Like, you got to go that way with him. He'd be like, oh, that's great.
Totally agree with you.
I feel like we were like a 98 Barolo in that
Totally agree with you.
Or like, what war general do you wish you could talk to right now?
You get him thinking, right?
You get him thinking with weird questions.
I totally agree with you. Bill Belichick, there's no way in. He doesn't give a fuck. What would you do with Belichick? You're at the press conference.
Belichick's like one of those.
He's just a mean.
Those handball walls that people play in New York City. He's the handball wall.
He's a fucking.
You hit the ball and the wall
He's
knocks
just a
it
handball
back.
wall with graffiti on it and spit and like been vomited on.
The questions.
What's the question? You have your Popovich in. What would you do with Belichick? Nothing. He would publicly humiliate the face of Boston sports. He doesn't care that it's Bill Simmons.
I think the way
He's
in with
prick.
Belichick, he loves talking about football.
So what would you say?
So if you ask him questions that are like legit football questions, like, can you talk about how Landon Roberts, what is a Landon Roberts? How has he grown as somebody who can come up and stop the run, but then go into pass protection?
You don't think any reporter asks a question like that?
That's all he wants to do. You can't be like, Bill, who is Tom
He doesn't
playing
want
this
fodder,
week?
right?
He's not giving you any information whatsoever, but he'll love talking about. Be like, hey, Bill, have you studied what Bump Phillips did in the 1980 championship game? Did you think there were any like that's the shit he wants to talk about? Otherwise, he's out.
Okay,
but
fair enough.
I think the way he handles it is brilliant because he gives nobody anything.
But I just think it's mean. I think it's mean and obnoxious to treat every question by every reporter just like as if they have no business even speaking to him. Like he truly makes Craig Popovich look like the friendliest guy in the world. Like every reporter, every question.
Did you see with Popovich yesterday during the game? 2 days ago, the sideline reporter was like, "What do you have to do to slow down James Harden?" He's like, "Got to do a better job."
Right.
That was it. He's like, "Okay, thanks." Like he hates it so much.
Yeah, but I think the wine question and the generals would be a good way.
It's the only way you have to go.
I like that.
Do you feel more comfortable when you coach with a beard?
Right.
You just got to get super weird with him every time.
Throw him off.
What would Tim Duncan say if you saw that first quarter?
Right. I like that.
You got to make him think for a second to make his brain go.
Catch him off guard.
I think it's real. I think they put them in a really bad spot with trying to answer those questions because, like, imagine like a pilot is landing a plane,
right?
And somebody comes in and be like, "Bob, how's it feel?" Like, all they're doing is trying to land the plane. They can't snap out of that.
They're singularly
Kristen
focused.
Ledlow's standing next to them all of a sudden.
I agree.
I feel bad for them. The Warriors.
I just hope they can do it.
Durant wins a title.
Good. Anything
You're
to beat
okay with
LeBron.
that? Okay.
I didn't like the decision when it first happened, but he's there. I love the Golden State Warriors. I love the team. I love that Steph Curry has sort of been reduced to like he's like an afterthought now. I love the resentment from the unanimous MVP last year.
Do you think it's suspicious that Steph Curry can grow a beard?
He can't. He
has a beard now.
What would be suspicious about that? Anything
4 years ago, he had like 4 hairs.
He finished puberty.
Do you think he went through puberty?
Yeah, I think he went through late stage puberty.
Okay.
I think there's nothing suspicious about that. If we're going to talk about suspicious hair and growing things, we're going to go back to LeBron. But let's move forward. We don't want to go back to the fact that, what the interesting thing about LeBron amongst all the Michael Jordan thing is the reason why you can't really compare him to Michael Jordan and any other athlete, because Michael Jordan got injured. You know who else got injured? Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
Lance Armstrong got injured. Roger Clemens got injured. Who's the guy who beat Carl Lewis in the race?
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson, he even got injured. But the only person who's never got injured in 14 years of professional sports is LeBron James. That, to me, is interesting. Mark McGwire, he got injured. You see where I'm going here?
Well, you're naming a lot of people who had.
No,
who
they're
had-
just athletes, great athletes. Michael Jordan, we started with Michael Jordan, Ben
Right.
Johnson, Lance Armstrong got injured, Sammy
think-
Sosa got injured.
I will say that LeBron for 14 years
Never got injured.
Never even landing on somebody's ankle
Never
on
twisted
an
his
offensive
ankle.
rebound and twisting it like Markieff Morris did.
Never. No.
The
And
only
then-
thing I can ever remember happening with him was the 2012 finals when he got the cramps.
No, but I remember when what was the year when was that 2012 when he went back? After he left Cleveland, after he left Miami and came to Miami, after he left Miami and came to Cleveland, what season was that? 2014, the beginning of the season, he wasn't looking LeBron-like. And they had the campaigns, I'm coming home. And then in December, he said, I need to take a break. And he went back to Miami. But you said you wanted to come home. So why on your break did you go to Miami? And why couldn't we find you during those 2
He
weeks?
needed some R&R.
Yeah, but why do you? If you needed R&R, why don't you stay? It was so important to go home. Yet you went back to Miami for your break. What? And you know who else goes to Miami on their breaks? Alex Rodriguez. That's just a coincidental thing. I'm just saying, throwing names out there.
Well,
I want
A-Rod.
A-Rod. People are.
So you wanted to talk about whether A-Rod is a stick man or not. This is a question you get from people.
People are bringing it up a lot.
You've become what I was with the book of basketball. You're the author of the book of Stickman.
Yes.
Your verdict is the final verdict.
I'm the gatekeeper.
You're the gatekeeper for the Stickman Industries.
Now, A-Rod,
has
impressive.
been with a lot of women. Seems to have two types. Has like that female bodybuilder-ish muscular type, but then also has like the hot celebrity type. And he kind of vacillates between those two worlds.
Yes. Sheer numbers. Who's the female bodybuilder type?
Well, he had that one girlfriend that was definitely
Was that when he was
muscular.
still playing?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's when he was into like the bodybuilding things.
He's definitely into like bodybuilder fitness kind of
Fitness,
ladies.
kind of like taking care of
Little strong,
yourself.
like
supplements.
A little bit intimidating.
Right.
Yeah.
Supplements and shit like that. She probably used supplements.
Maybe. Like Debbie Clemens.
Yes.
She experimented.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Roger Clemens also a player who got hurt during his career, unlike LeBron. The thing about A-Rod is this. Great numbers, Cameron Diaz, Kate Hudson, this model, that model, a couple of weird choices like the inventor of Yahoo, like looks like a librarian at like a bad school in Ohio. For me, ultimately, now he's with J-Lo, which is like a crest. That's like a crowning jewel. So everybody's like, you got to put him in the Stickman thing. And I say this. I treat the Stickman Hall of Fame the same way I would treat the Baseball Hall of Fame. You don't get in there with any asterisks. His greatest work, A-Rod's greatest work, he was under the influence of PhDs. So to answer the PEDs
And PhDs.
PhDs and PEDs. So for me, when people ask me, is A-Rod a stickman? I say, unfortunately, no. Just like I wouldn't let Sammy Sosa or Barry Bonds into the Baseball Hall of Fame, A-Rod, unfortunately, you're not getting into the Stickman Hall of Fame because some of your greatest work, you were under the influence of PEDs.
I think there's a couple indicators that would help with this. I'm not saying this is your thing. I'm not telling you should
No, but
think this way.
you're with me.
I'm with you. I'm on the board. When you
Yeah,
have the board meeting
you're
once a year,
the
I have
head of-
ideas.
yes.
Yeah. I think one of the factors should be if my wife or girlfriend was overserved by one drink and I had to leave the party or the dinner or whatever, would I let this person drive them home?
And explain why.
Like I
because
said,
a true stickman, you
A
would...
true stick man is just they're going to step in.
No.
Bill Clinton's driving your drunk girlfriend home.
There could be a
He's
problem.
a stick man. He's going to step in.
But you know who's not going to step in?
Who?
Jeter. They
True.
got better things to do.
Well, but that's why I think it's one
DiCaprio's not
question.
going to step in.
No, DiCaprio's not going to step in. There's
Even
two
Warren
types of
Beatty's
stick-
not going to step in.
There's two types. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm wrong.
You know why?
Because
Because
I was
there-
thinking there's two types of
There's
stick men.
a gentlemanness. There's a
You're right.
gentlemanliness.
I'm wrong. I rescind. I
But
rescind
that's
the
a
question.
fantastic... See, that right there, though, is what it's all about.
That's what we talk about in the board meetings.
That's exactly what it's like. You could go left or right. People that could seem like they should be on the list,
Right.
That
That's
they're
great.
not.
All right. So I inadvertently stumbled into the right discussion.
So if you,
So
if,
Jeter would drive my drunk girlfriend home,
yep,
not do anything.
nope.
But that would also plant the seed for down the road.
Yep.
She'd be like, that guy has class.
Yep. It would work in his favor.
It works in his favor that he treated the situation with class.
Now, if you were sending A-Rod home with your drunk girlfriend,
He might take a crack. That's why he's not a stick man.
period.
Yeah.
Period. There it is right there.
Did we ever talk about JFK Jr. with this discussion?
Consummate.
I mean, one of the stealth consummate
World
stickmen
class.
ever. You never knew what he was up to.
Fantastic coxman. Men and women were sad at his passing because the work that he did in New York City, pre-cell phone, pre-social media, incredible stick man. Great
Did you
head
hold
of
it
hair.
against him that he would run in Central Park with no shirt on?
Loved
it seemed like kind of aggressive.
I know.
Okay.
I didn't feel like, I felt like he was just like, it might have been a tinge aggressive, but I just felt like it was just like it was what it was.
Okay.
Like it is what it is.
Would you put Drake on this list?
Yes. Up and coming young stick man. Fantastic.
Young stickman, a lot of potential. Best
Great.
stickman years are ahead of him.
From Canadian, half black, half Jewish.
Yeah.
This is a very unique, yes, putting a lot of work. Great work under the radar. Sometimes lets his feelings get the better of him, which works against you when it comes to being
Uses his music to kind of work out some of his stickman feelings.
Yes. Yes.
See, that to me is an asterisk against him.
I agree.
Because he's almost too transparent about his feelings about how certain things have gone down romantically in his life.
some
I don't feel
people-
like Jeter would play that.
No.
Jeter moves on.
Jeter moves on.
Business-like. Next one.
I agree. So we have to see out that he's still young. He's still getting used to the fame. You know, using his feelings, getting the best of him. Some people would call that a sucker for love ass trick. I don't use that term for him. A great stick man. Apparently Rihanna, J-Lo, and Serena Williams. We're talking about that's like Mount Rushmore. Those are just some of the three we know about.
So I had this question too, and I think it's a good one, and I think you should think about this as you build the Stickman Hall of Fame. Are there female stickmen? And if there are, isn't Madonna like the gold standard here?
She would be the gold standard, but it's a messy gold standard. She's a mess. She was a mess in her prime. She's a mess now. So you don't really want her representing that. But if there are, Madonna would be that person, yes. In her prime, she would drive around the East Village and pick up, hot, dudes off the street. But again, that's the term. Yo, that's real. She'd drive around in limousines and be like, yo, she was getting it in. So, but the fact that she's not doing it.
That didn't happen.
Yeah, it happened.
Stop it.
Just like the Ty Lue thing happened. You think I'm just making this thing up? Ty Lue said that's the hardest job. You think I'm just like, if I was that creative, Bill, you think I'd be doing this shit? I'd be like I'd be writing Star Wars movies if I had like this kind of creativity. So yes, Madonna would be sort of the person, but it's
So
just,
Kate Hudson's taken down a lot of lead singers.
she's taken. Yeah, she's
a lot
more
of
of
musicians.
It. She would be more
A lot of
of it.
musicians and actors.
She seems to have a sort of grace about it. She seems to be comfortable with it, and it doesn't be like you don't judge her.
Who's
Madonna-
the premier hip hop stickman right now?
Drake?
Okay.
Got to be Drake. And Drake has got impressive stats. He just needs to get his feelings under wraps.
I've seen Drake in action.
Live?
I've seen this Drake as a stickman in action.
How does it work like?
It was memorable.
Where'd you see him at? Like an award show or something?
It was a post party I was at once.
He puts it in.
It's tough, man. It was definitely one of those things where I was like, I'm keeping my wife by my side.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's tough, man. That did.
Yeah, no,
it's Drake.
He's no joke.
Yeah.
He's no joke. I mean,
Now that Leo's won the Oscar, I wonder how this plays out for him.
it just keeps going.
Just
It keeps going. Hopefully, it doesn't end the way it ended for Warren Beatty. Like that was the downfall of a great stickman. Like his whole life. Like there's a generation of people that will only know him for the incident at the Oscars. And I was very adamant on social media. I was like, how dare you criticize it? Do you know the groundwork
yeah.
that this man did? Do you know what this guy, like he set the tone before he was out there pounding. He set the numbers. Like he raised the fucking bar.
Right.
And for him to be shamed like that at the Oscars wasn't a good look for truly Hollywood's consummate stick man.
And the bummer was, it was very similar. I said this before in a pod. It was very similar to Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson. Mm-hmm. Faye Dunaway was Justin Timberlake in this scenario. Warren Beatty was Janet Jackson. It became his fault that La La Land was red. He held the envelope, could barely see, couldn't understand, was confused, gave it to Faye Dunaway, who just saw it and blurted it out.
Yep.
No different than Timberlake ripping the nipple cover off.
I agree.
And everyone just pointed the finger at him.
But then he came back 2 minutes later, even tried to apologize, and it was just still like he was stepping in his own vomit and stepping in his dog's own shit. And it was a terrible way for him to be represented, because people forget about the blue eyes and the hair and just the jawline and the chin and everything like that, and everything that he did in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s.
I was going to have something I was going to read you about Warren Beatty. I was talking about somebody who was on the set with him on Ishtar.
Uh-huh.
And Warren Beatty had stepped in with somebody who didn't seem like the typical person he would step in with.
Uh-huh.
And the person asked him, why that one? What's your modus operandi?
Uh-huh.
And from the book it said, why? He was searching for the right words.
Huh.
Because you never know.
That's it right there.
Warren Beatty, he didn't know.
No.
Everybody was fair game to him because you just never know.
You never know.
Yeah.
How dare they disrespect him? That wasn't his fault. What he did, this is like a great coxman.
You're feuding with ESPN.
Not ESPN.
Okay.
Dan Le Batard.
Well, you're not on ESPN anymore.
Nah, that's not true. It ain't over till it's over.
When was the last time you were on ESPN?
TV about 2 months ago. I'm on. I don't know what I'm on. You're gonna make me like really be not on ESPN.
I'm not gonna do anything. Le Batard's my friend.
Why?
I've been friends with him for 10 years.
I don't like him.
Well,
Do you know what
let's solve it.
The whole thing
Can
happened?
we solve it right now?
Well, I tried to. The way that whole thing, the whole Le Batard thing happened was he had set out a tweet about Magic Johnson not being what's the word he used? Not being didn't have the credentials to run a basketball team.
I saw that.
Didn't deserve. What was the word he used? Wasn't worthy. Didn't deserve to run a basketball team. And it was so. It first started out and I was like,
I gotta say, I was surprised that he made that play. I did not agree with that stand, but it's fucking opinion. I had an opinion on his opinion.
So then I had tweeted. I've never met Le Batard. So then I had tweeted out.
He's a good man.
Okay. I think he's got like some race issues too. So then I said, well, if he's not worthy to run a basketball team, your father maybe not be worthy to be on a television show.
I just want to point out that on Wednesday I had my father on a podcast who has just as many credentials as Le Batard's dad.
Your father's on a podcast, not on a TV show every single day. And the comparison was just like, but at first it was just like,
all right, so I get it. You're saying like, how can you question Magic's credentials? Like, look in the mirror.
Your father's on a show, and like, how many times are you going to have him misquote rap lyrics and like everybody's like laughing because he's doing it in broken English? It's like basically like if you're going to say that he doesn't have the credentials to run the Lakers, I say your father doesn't have the credentials to be on a TV show. But it wasn't as crass as that.
Okay.
One of his producers started talking shit. So we were going back and forth. Like, so he was like, said something about, oh, well, your career, this, I don't even remember what he said. And then it was like, I was going, well, I don't know who the fuck you are, but if I met you, you're the guy who gets me coffee. So now I kept calling him a coffee maker. I said, you're the guy who, when I show up to do Le Batard's show, you shake my hand and you say, hello, Mr. Rapport, can I get you something to drink? That's what I was saying. I said, so don't say a word. I don't know who this guy is. So then it was going into, so somebody posted a picture. I think I had this thing. They were saying, you have herpes because I had this like sore on my chin.
Yeah.
You have herpes. Oh, I don't have herpes, motherfucker. And then it was going into all this other thing, your career this, your career that, blah, 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 blah. And it was over Oscar weekend. And I had actually reached out to people because it was getting like a lot of Twitter, like you're this, you're that, you're this. I don't know, and they're basically taking pot shots from the grassy knoll because I don't know who his producers are. I know that they would get me coffee if I met them,
right?
And they probably wouldn't make long lasting eye contact if I met them also. So then I had reached out to ESPN over the weekend because I was like, yo, this is. I saw where it was going. I said, yo, I never met Le Batard, but if he wants to talk about this off air, we could talk about it off air, or I could call into the show Monday morning and we could banter and it'll go away. But if they talk shit on the radio Monday morning, there's going to be a problem. So Monday morning, Le Batard, John Wiener, goes by the name of Stugotz.
I love Stugotz.
May or may not hate Italians.
No.
He's mocking Italians with that Stugotz.
Stugat's a good guy.
Stugat's a good guy.
I'm going to defend all these guys.
Okay. Well, if you heard what they were saying about me, you wouldn't defend them. Who to say? He's saying this. He thinks he's black. His career this. His career that. He's racist. He loves black people so much he made a Tribe Called Quest documentary. La 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 la. Dissing me on national radio. Dissing me. Inappropriate popping shit. And the coffee getters. And then the next, so I went on Twitter and I did a little video and I shitted on him. And then the next day, I invented the podcast diss track. 42 minutes of flames shitting all over the Cupcake Kid, a.k.a. the Beignet Bandit, John Wiener, the Long Island Jew. I'm Jewish. Hates Italians? You said he hates Italians? That's what the Stugotz thing?
I don't like any of this. Right? Let's just squash it now.
Yo, I tried to. They wanted to keep. I reached out and I said to the producers, I said, yo, I will call in or I will speak to Le Batard off air. And he said, oh, he's begging to get on the show. I'm not begging to get on your fucking show.
Well, you were on 17 ESPN shows at that point.
But I was like,
I almost thought you had your own show. Every time I looked on, it was like you and Steven Jackson, like looking at shoes.
Maybe if I had my own show, they wouldn't be, like firing my man Ed Werder and all that shit. Maybe like things, like Ed Werder gets fired. He was out there in below 9-degree weather. I'm in Philadelphia. There was like blizzards and shit. Then they get rid of this guy. So that was the thing. But I haven't been on the ESPN just because he said Le Batard was like, well, you got to look at how much stake or how much value somebody has, at ESPN. Like he basically told them, yo, this person shouldn't be on ESPN, and I think and right now I'm suspended. Or not. I don't even know what I am.
You've been uninvited.
I've been uninvited, but not officially uninvited. So I don't think it's going anywhere.
I saw Matthew Modine on The Jump last night.
Really?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
You have your own little corner. You're an actor who can go on sports shows.
And the thing,
I don't know who else takes that corner from you.
No one else takes that corner from me. I mean, there's other people that could talk about sports and stuff. But in regards to the Le Batard thing, I just think that, and so that's how it
I don't know. This whole thing is just perplexing to me.
Ask him. But the dope thing about
Just the kind of shit Le Batard hates, though.
Ask that fat motherfucker what he... No, Bill, please keep this in. Ask that fat fuck. Ask that motherfucker what it is, because I reached out to them and I was like, ask him. Ask him.
All right, I'm going to ask him. He's my friend.
Get him on the air. Like, can we call him? Get
No.
that fat fucking, get John Wiener, get those motherfuckers, get their producers and ask them.
You're really mad about this.
I was mad because when they're saying things, my wife was mad because like you're saying things like you have herpes. I'm an actor. I don't have fucking. So if you're like saying I have herpes and I'm saying no, I don't have herpes, basically you're fucking with my livelihood. Like that's like defamation. Like if I'm kissing kids, I have a show. I have
You're
two
kissing kids.
I have kids that play.
Do that.
I have children that play my kids. I have actors that play my kids on the show. I'm kissing them. Hi son, hi daughter. I have my wife Jennifer Jason Lee. If I'm kidding, and I'm like filling out forms that say that, and then they're saying I'm racist. The whole thing is just bullshit. And I'm just saying like Dan Le Batard is a wannabe. Howard Stern. The show is weak.
No.
The show is weak. His takes are weak. Miami sports are weak. And the whole, and like I'm racist and all this shit.
Tate, what do we do?
Keep it in. You can keep it in. Bill, why would you take it out? He went on his radio show on national radio and talk shit. If you take this out, that's not fair. I said this all to their face. I said this all on the radio.
All right, let's move on. You made your point.
Okay, but I'm thinking,
I still feel awkward because I like all those guys.
I'm trying to think.
I wish this would work out.
Reach out to him. Reach out to him because
it seems like there's been too much damage. I mean, 2 minutes ago you called him a fat fuck. I don't know.
Fat fuck, talentless.
Come on.
And you know what the best thing about it is?
Levitard's a good guy.
But let me just explain to you. Oh, this is the best part about it. But keep this in there. The best part about it is because they work for ESPN and they're like, there's bodies being thrown into the dumpsters left and right of ESPN. They haven't said shit since then. Because, see, I don't like the whole thing with me going on ESPN. I love doing it. And my whole thing with going on sports is I love doing it. But it's like going to ceramics class. It's like going to like photography. Like I love doing it, but it's like it's not my living. They haven't been able to say shit because I think probably the people at ESPN were like, don't say anything back. So that's the beauty of it. Like I don't like he's totally like he thinks he's so rogue and he thinks he's so like out there, but then he hasn't said shit about it because I know they said don't respond because basically it was like ESPN employee were talking shit about an ESPN employee.
But you haven't been on since.
Nope. Dan Le Batard, a good guy. Poppy, he's really good on TV. Poppy.
Do you think? Do you see ESPN with this whole direction of kind of takes? It's a day it takes. Everybody, it's at least two people looking at each other, throwing takes at each other. Not much different than what we're doing now, but it seems like a more. There's something I don't like about it.
My thing with sports stuff.
There's a soullessness that. To the day-to-day grind of it that I'm not a huge fan of.
And it's not just ESPN, because I like ESPN. My whole thing, like I fuck with ESPN. I love all the people. I love Beetle. I love Rachel Nichols, Carrie Champion, Jamal. They're all, like, I love them. They've all been great. My thing with ESPN is just Le Batard. So please keep that in there.
Okay.
But the thing about sports takes and sports, sort of commentary is that when you're sitting at home watching a game or you're in your car in traffic listening to a game, you got your finger up your nose, you got your Starbucks, you might have a cheeseburger, smoking this, smoking that, and you're sitting there in a pair of basketball shorts. If that, you might be balls naked and a t-shirt, but yet everybody's fully dressed, fully made up, and in suits. And I think it's not the Wall Street Journal. It's not CNN. It's not Fox News. It's not MSNBC. It's sports. And even like the basketball nerds, it's like the analytics of it all. It's like how many, it's like, and there's so many of these guys are trying to like outstat each other.
I hate it. I don't like that.
It's like enough with the stats. It's like when you're sitting there playing ball, you're playing 3-on-3.
Everyone's on a historic pace. By the way, you're on a historic pace for F-bombs in this podcast.
Oh, do we not give the precursor to the little kids aren't listening?
Afterwards, we'll do the precursor.
Yeah, you'll do like, please cover your ears.
After we finish this, yeah.
Yeah, they know.
No, they don't know. We got to do it again.
Let me tell you something, Bill. One of the things that in like a year and a half, people come up to me, they recognize you, they'll say, consistently, especially in New York, all the time, they'll just straight up say to me, when are you going to be on Simmons again? I love you on Simmons.
Nice.
When are you going to be on Simmons again? And as if this is a performance, I'm like, that's just me. They're like, I loved your performance on Bill Simmons. I'm like, that's
performance.
Yeah, that's just 24/7.
Yeah.
But so people come up to me all the time and say that to me, like, and I'm like, but I'm also an actor. They're like, no, I love you on Simmons. So
before we go, can you give us one story that you haven't given us before? I'm going to go through your IMDb.
An acting thing?
Yeah, something from
I
all
can tell
these
you
people.
this, the Big Three thing, I had a great story down there.
Oh, yeah. You're going to be, what are you going to be?
I'm the roving reporter of the Big Three.
Okay.
The Big Three is the tournament that Ice Cube put together, professional basketball league.
Look at you. Have you seen your IMDb photo? You
I
look
look
like you're
like,
about to murder people.
That's a
Look at
good
this
picture.
tape.
That's a good picture.
That's a good picture?
Yeah.
You look like you're filming the Jeffrey Dahmer story.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I want to keep people on the toes. But I'm the roving reporter. By
the way, you're a hypocrite because you were in a TV series called Boston Public for 4 years. And
paid so well.
You diss Boston.
Paid so well.
Took those Boston
We
checks.
shot it in Manhattan Beach. I mean, like, don't get it fucking twisted, man. Paid so well. It was a local job. It was my first. I just had my first kid. I liked the show. Good time. David E. Kelly, Boston guy, and we shot it in Manhattan Beach.
Here are the choices. You can give us a story about.
I love that I got
Nick
choices.
Cage or Caruso in Kiss of Death. You can give us a story about anyone from the cast of Deep Blue Sea, including Sam Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can give us a story about Brendan Fraser in The Scout.
No stories on him.
Or anyone on True Romance.
I'll
Were
do.
you working with Christian Slater? Was Christian Slater on, off the wagon during True Romance?
That's a good question. I think that Christian Slater was, if he was on the wagon, you couldn't tell. He didn't like me. He didn't like acting with me because, and he had a right to not like me because I didn't know sort of the technicalities of film acting at the time.
Yeah.
And like when we were doing scenes together, and I was trying to, I didn't understand. I was trying to be helpful off camera,
Okay.
and I was improvising with him off camera.
He didn't want that.
Well, nobody would want it. He was right to be frustrated with me.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was like, fuck you. What the fuck, man? You think you're so fucking cool? Fuck, what was that Baboon Heart movie? Baboon Heart?
Untamed Heart.
Fuck Untamed Heart,
I saw
man.
that in the theater.
Yeah, I was like, you fuck, I'm
I
from
saw
New
that
York.
on a date.
Yeah. With your wife or another
No,
chick?
somebody I was dating at
I
the
like
time.
that. Side
and,
piece.
And we were laughing. No, this is way before my wife. We were laughing during the ending, and we got scolded. That's
Well,
what I remember about that movie because he dies at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but in my head, I was like, what was the other movie? Pump Up the Volume was fucking fake ass
That's a
Jack
great
Nicholson.
movie. No,
Yeah,
that's great.
But in my
Pump
head,
Up the Volume that predicted the entire podcast industry.
good point.
Yeah, it did. It laid it all out.
But we were at the amusement park scene.
Yeah.
And I was off camera, which means he was having his close up, and I'm on the side of the camera throwing my lines at him. I don't remember what the lines were, and he was like, "God damn it, just give me the fucking line." And in my head, I was like, "Fuck you, man! You fucking trying to fucking diss me? You know, like I was bitch motherfucker, fucking from New York. I don't play that shit. I'm not no fucking actor. I'll fuck you up." La la la. And because I wasn't doing it correctly, because you're not supposed to do that. Because if I'm throwing all these improv lines off camera and I've already shot my side of it, it throws off the
Yeah. Can't do it.
you can't do it. And he was like, "Fuck, god damn it, man, just give me the fucking line." But I was embarrassed, and I also didn't know what I was doing wrong because that was only my third or fourth movie.
Right.
Tony Scott loved it. So when we did the roller coaster scene, you know, where we
Yeah.
were actually on the roller coaster, I confronted him. Not like I wanted to fight him, but I was like, "Yo, man, you fucking, what the fuck? Like, you got a problem with me? Like, what? You know, like, let me know." And he explained it to me, and I didn't understand it still then. Like, we were like, cool, and I was like, "I'm sorry, I didn't understand." And he was like, "Cool," but like, I was ready to fight Christian Slater. On the set of True, in my head, I was. But
You got like 5 inches taller than him, right? You're like a minus 400 favorite in that fight.
Yes, but I was totally wrong in terms of like he had a right to do it. I just felt like him screaming at me, like it embarrassed me. So that was but he was totally cool.
So
with
now
him.
you see him, it's good. Long
Dude,
handshake, 5-step handshake.
all of it. Like
Okay.
it was good. It was good. And he was right. I was wrong. But at the time, I just didn't understand the technicalities of film acting, and I just didn't like the way he did it. And he probably assumed I was doing it. I don't know what he assumed, but he was right for being frustrated.
Brad Pitt.
I don't like what his ex-wife is trying to do to him.
Oh, I'm just saying Brad Pitt back then.
Cool as shit.
Good
chill.
weed? Did he have weed?
Yeah, he had weed, laid back, calm, told like the whole Honey Bear Bong thing with James Gandolfini, all Brad Pitt. That character was 7 lines.
Yeah.
Maybe 10, literally 7 or 8, 9, 10
Incredible.
lines. Riffed it all, showed up to the set, in wardrobe, dirty, dingy, was dating Juliette Lewis. They had just done California. She had just done Natural Born Killers. They were like the cool sort of alternative, gonna blow up couple. Cool as shit. Nice dude, friendly to everybody. And you knew, this was like right after Thelma Louise and before the Robert Redford movie. You just knew he was like, he's like, sort of Giannis now. Like, this guy's special.
Did you know that in 93, that's like one of the future Hall of Fame stickmen we have?
He already put in work at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy, when you're up on him, it's Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Like, there's no question about, like, those blue eyes and that jawbone, the hair. He had the long, sort of the long hair.
Yeah.
What was it on Golden? Not on Golden Pond. What was the, Tate, what was the Robert Redford movie that he did?
Oh, the fishing movie.
The fishing movie. So
Yeah.
he had that look going, but with remember he had that weird, like sort of Fabio blonde hair.
Right.
Like people were dropping, like they'd walk by him and like they need to be resuscitated.
Right. Keep the girlfriend away from Brad
Yeah,
Pitt.
but cool as shit.
All right,
I
that's
was once
good.
at an Oscar party with Brad Pitt. This is
Yeah.
when he was single.
Ah.
I swear to God, I saw a whole room shift as he went from one place to the other. But like a pack of women. I swear I saw it with my own eyes. I was at the bar with him when we walked from the bar to the front of the club.
Yeah.
The whole fucking place, like the whole thing shifted. It was literally like a whole section of people followed him. All girls, all dimes, all in skirts, and he just was like oblivious to it. That's like easy pickings for him.
We have to wrap it up. Big Three.
Big Three.
When does that start?
Starts the 26th on FS1. I'm the roving reporter. I got to meet Dr. J, and I asked him.
When does it start?
June 26th.
June 26th.
It's going to be dope, competitive, physical. Charles Oakley had to break up a fight during the practice games this weekend at the draft combine. I saw it with my own eyes.
The draft combine?
The draft Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, formerly
you
Chris
love
Jackson.
him.
Love him.
That was one of our old 30 for 30 ideas we never did.
I think I want to try to get that going.
Would you call it Chris Jackson X?
No, AKA Chris Jackson.
AKA Chris Jackson. That was a good idea.
Got to meet Dr. J. I was emceeing the draft.
I mean, that's
outer body experience.
Mount Rushmore stick man.
Got to put my hand up to his hand.
Yeah.
The hands of life. I tried to squeeze it at him. I tried to catch him off guard. I asked him, what was Larry Bird, the most famous white person with no lips, saying to you that day? Please just tell us all. He wouldn't tell me. He would not tell me. What prompted?
42-6 is what prompted that one. Bird had 42, Doc had 6. He was talking shit. Doc didn't like it.
As he
So
shouldn't.
told
He
Moses
almost got
and-
his fucking neck choked off.
He told Moses and Barkley to grab him so he could just punch him defenseless for 10 seconds.
Yeah, well, lucky
right.
it wasn't worse.
Well, you can come back on before that starts. I'm going to squash this Lebatard thing. I don't like it. I'm squashing it. Don't say anything else.
Wait, you're going to squash it or squash it from the podcast?
No, I'm going to squash. I'm not going to allow this anymore. It's over. I'm squashing it.
Squash it.
All right.
Basically, Magic Johnson got me kicked off ESPN. Defending Magic Johnson caused this whole thing.
Thanks to Simply Safe, it's never been easier to protect your home and family. Thanks to our friends at Simply Safe. Order your home security online. Set up your system in under an hour. You can start enjoying 24/7 professional protection immediately, all for just $15 a month. No long-term contracts, no hidden fees, no hassle. Go to Simply Safe with 2 eyes, simplysafebs.com today. Protect your home and get 10% off. Don't forget, I was on the Ringer NBA show talking Celtics Wizards. If you missed that, don't forget to subscribe to Cousin Sal's new podcast, Against All Odds. You might have to make an appearance on that one. At some point.
Anytime.
You love gambling.
Anytime.
And
Small
then,
stakes.
And then Michael Rappaport, your Netflix show premieres
Atypical.
this summer. Atypical. All right. Just keep an eye on that. It'll pop up.
IamRapportTour.com. Sean Kemp, May 11th.
Oh, yeah.
Rain Man.
Seattle. Show up for rap.
It's going to be fun.
Thank you.
Anytime.
All right.